Hello and welcome back to Aging Well, monthly production of Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services. I'm your host, Nathan Lamb. With me today are my guests, Cassie Cramer and Rory Silvia. And we're in studio today, we're discussing music therapy, and specifically a really awesome music therapy program that we're offering through Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services. The name of the program is Music and Memory. Rory Silvia has been integral to bringing it to the agency. And while we're going to discuss the program in a moment, we thought it would be great to introduce the program with a couple of clips from the Music and Memory documentary, Alive Inside. So we're going to cue that up, and we'll be right back in a moment.
We first see Henry inert, maybe depressed, unresponsive, and almost unalive.
Henry.
Yeah?
Henry.
Yes, sir.
I found your music. You want your music now?
What do you want me?
Let's try your music, okay? And then you tell me if it's too loud or not.
Then he is given an iPod containing, we know, his favorite music. And immediately he lights up. His face assumes expression, his eyes open wide. He starts to sing and to rock and to move his arms, and he's being animated by the music.
And he used to always sit on the unit with his head like this. He didn't really talk to much people. And then when I introduced the music to him, this is his reaction ever since.
What does music do to you?
It give me the feeling of love. No man. Figure right now the world need to come into music, singing. You got beautiful music here. Beautiful, oh, lovely. And I feel the band of love, the dream. The Lord came to me, made me holy. I'm a holy man. So he gave me this sound. I'll just say, I meet you. Let's see, Rosalie, won't you love me? Rosalie, won't you be sweet and kind?
With this beautiful new technology, you can have all the music which is significant for you in something as big as a matchbox or whatever. And I think this may be very, very important in helping to animate, organize, and bring a sense of identity back to people who are out of it.
Well, the interesting thing is that we've actually studied the long-term effect of those types of experiences. You know, most musical performers will say that they do music therapy because they play a song for an audience of people with dementia. The people wake up, they're responsive, and in that moment there's a therapeutic experience. However, what we've done, if we've taken those experiences and multiplied them, you know, every day, weeks and weeks. And one time had done a study many years ago, actually, that was funded by the New York State Department of Health, and looked at doing music therapy 3 times a week for people in mid to late stage dementia for 10 months. And at the end of 10 months, these people had improved their mini mental status scores. They were recognizing their loved ones. They were talking to each other, having conversations. We had neuroscientists actually assess them for their social ability and found that there was no difference between them and people who didn't have dementia. So we know for a fact that using this type of music consistently, day in and day out, does in fact stimulate memory and recall and improves it over time.
Wow, pretty fascinating stuff. So we're going to get into a lot of different aspects of the program, but first I'm curious, how did this program come to Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services?
After the screening of that documentary, a few members of the SCES community saw how amazing of a program it was and wanted to figure out how we could bring this to the agency. From there, we were able to get support from management and apply for grants, and we were able to get funding to serve over 100 individuals through the program.
It's awesome. Definitely the video is very powerful. So who can benefit from this program through Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services?
Any person receiving any service through Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services is eligible to participate in music and memory, we're really not limited. You know, a lot of the research shows that music and memory can help those with Alzheimer's and dementia, but it can also help those with any level of cognitive impairment, individuals with Parkinson's disease, and as Cassie mentioned earlier, can also hype people up and help you kind of get through a stressful time. We've made playlists for caregivers that are going through stressful times. So anyone that touches the agency is eligible. We've also partnered and worked with a few other organizations through Somerville-Cambridge to get the word out about it. We're willing to go beyond SCES to really get this program up and running in the community. Because I think that's what it's really all about, is making sure that our community members have access to this unique tool.
So, in very brief, if somebody calls up and is interested in being in the program, what happens? They get access to a musical playlist, but what's the brief version of how that all comes together?
Well, we do a brief music assessment. I know I've done a couple, Cassie's done some, and we go through a list of questions that kind of taps into the person's musical preferences. The goal is to get a personalized playlist. So that's what we're aiming for. And after that, we put together the playlist, pop it on an iPod and bring it out to the family or participant and teach them how to use it, and usually recommend daily use to have long-term effects.
Absolutely. And it's free for the
Yes.
person receiving it?
Yes, it's free. It's we received funding. We can currently serve up to over 100 clients, and so we currently have the equipment to serve those people, so it's free.
Oh, that's outstanding. What's the response been like so far?
I think it's been really great, and I think we are getting a unique response from participants in the program as well as family members and staff. I think we have participants with a range of diagnoses that have used it, and everyone has their own unique experience. We have people that were previously nonverbal starting to communicate with their families a little bit more. Families getting together and dancing during home visits with the staff, which is just amazing. And I think it also allows the staff to see their clients in a light that they wouldn't normally see them in, to learn a little bit more about their background, why they enjoy this music or this particular song. So it's building a connection beyond the normal home visit, which is really great to see also.
Oh, that's
I'd say that's definitely true. You hear stories you never would hear about people's lives, 30, 40 years ago, and I would say people's adult children are having the same experience, learning, a different side of their mom or their dad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's been a good experience thus far. I do have one last question before we wrap up the segment. In terms of sustainability for long term, is there a mechanism for bringing in more iPods once the first batch has gone through? Have we determined that yet, or is it still?
Yeah, actually, so the Music and Memory Program provides each certified organization with the tools they need to create a sustainable program. That includes doing iPod donation drives. I know we haven't pushed one out yet because we don't need to at this time, but in the future we definitely will be doing that and seeking donations from the community for old iPods. I mean, electronic waste is a thing, so people can feel free to donate their iPods. And some families actually had iPods, so we didn't even have to use our own equipment, and we just uploaded music onto something that they already owned, which was really great. But yeah, the Music and Memory Program provides us with the tools to be a sustainable long-term program.
So awesome.
Yeah.
And final question before we go. How's your experience been since implementing the program? You really led the charge on this one. I'm just sort of curious for your thoughts on how it's gone.
For me, it's kind of cool. In SCES, I have a more administrative role, so I don't get to connect with families and participants and caregivers that often. So this has brought a unique light to me about what the mission is for the agency, and I've really been able to kind of build my own kind of outlook and how I am involved in the mission now beyond kind of an administrative role. So that's been unique for me.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to see. The video itself is very powerful, but when you tell me about this sort of work happening locally in our communities with people we work with, I think that's fascinating, outstanding. So, That's all for this segment. We will be back to wrap up Aging Well in just a moment.